It's taken years to get here, but they've finally gone and done it. Apple are in the AI game, but in typical Apple fashion, they've adopted their own take on the AI boom and introduced Apple Intelligence. See what they did there? Later in the video, we're going to run through the amazing new features and tools.
Artificial intelligence is coming to the iPhone. Apple just announced.
Show you examples and explain how they're going to be useful in your everyday life. If you're an Apple user, of course. Anyone on Android, stick around to see what you could have won. Anyway, during his speech at the company's annual conference, Tim Cook announced a series of generative artificial intelligence products and services, including a deal with OpenAI who developed ChatGPT. Up until now, Apple were like the kid in class who refuses to participate in group projects. Everyone else, like Google, Microsoft, they were all revamping their tech with AI, while Apple was fidgeting in the corner, pretending it wasn't happening. But the pressure was on. Analysts and investors were throwing tantrums, worried that Apple was falling behind in the AI race. A bit like watching a marathon where one runner is still tying their shoelaces while everyone else is halfway to the finish line. Not a good look. And let's not forget those iPhone sales. They've not exactly been breaking records, have they? Meanwhile, companies like Microsoft were laughing all the way to the bank thanks to their AI investments. Even Nvidia, the AI chip guys, zoomed past Apple in market value, hitting a $3 trillion stock market valuation, overtaking Apple to become the world's second most valuable public company. And that had to hurt. Apple had to release some kind of AI service. They could no longer hold out. They simply had to get on board or risk getting left behind at the station. Enter Apple Intelligence. This is a huge move for Apple, a company that usually likes to play it safe. It seems to have paid off. Their stock has been climbing steadily since the announcement, like a roller coaster, slowly inching up that first big hill. Everyone's hoping for a thrilling ride, and with Apple's history of innovation, it's likely they won't be disappointed. Buckle up, Apple fans, because Apple Intelligence is about to revolutionize your digital life. It's like having a personal assistant who knows you inside out, anticipating your needs and making your life easier in ways you never imagined. This isn't just some AI add-on. It's baked into the entire operating system of your Apple devices. Like having a super smart friend who's always there to help you out, whether you're working on a presentation, planning a trip, or just trying to find that one email from your boss. But before you get too excited, here's the catch. Apple Intelligence is a VIP club, exclusively for the cool kids with the latest devices. So if you're still rocking an older model, it might be time for an upgrade. And hey, we all know Apple loves a little upgrade revenue, right? But let's talk about the star of the show, Siri. She's got a brand new brain and she's smarter than ever. She's not just your voice assistant anymore, she's your AI bestie. Apple executives promised that Siri would feature a more natural, more contextually relevant, and more personal experience. It's beyond artificial intelligence. It's personal intelligence, said Tim Cook. The new Siri, which has the same old recognizable voice, is able to function as an AI chatbot and receive written instructions, and also has the ability to take actions within apps based on voice prompts. It's like having your own personal genie in your pocket. And forget about those annoying moments when Siri mishears you. The new Siri is super intuitive. She understands what you mean, even if you mumble or change your mind mid-sentence. It's like she can read your mind. The example that Apple offers is, Siri set an alarm for, set a timer for 10 minutes. Actually make that 5. The old Siri simply wouldn't deal with that kind of command. But wait, there's more. Siri can now sift through your emails, texts, and photos to find exactly what you're looking for. And if you're drowning in notifications, Siri can summarize them for you, so you don't have to waste time scrolling through endless messages. Apple state that its AI could, for instance, pick out the word daughter from an email and connect it to the matching phone contact. Or a group chat that involves figuring out a holiday could be shortened to a single message that confirms who booked a hotel and what time to arrive. They've also introduced image generation features. However, it's worth noting that none of the styles they've made available are photorealistic. That's most likely due to the rise of deep fakes. So they've given you animation, illustration, and sketch. Now it's fair to say these options are not too shabby, but don't expect them to be anywhere near as good as, say, Mid-Journey output. And there's also Genmojis, or generative emojis. You can now generate a new emoji by just typing like a prompt, and the diffusion model will create that new emoji from scratch in the style of all the other emojis. On top of that, built into their own Photos app is a cleanup tool, and it's basically the same idea as the Magic Eraser tool in Google Photos. This will identify background items, circle any items you don't want in your photo, and just get rid of them. It then fills in the background with generative fill. Then there's a tool within image generation that will turn a sketch image into a super detailed version of that sketch. Cool when you're taking notes on the fly, but then want a more professional version that you can use. There's also writing tools that can rewrite, perhaps change the tone to be more conversational, proofread, and summarize. The Summarize tool is pretty cool. If you receive a long email from someone, you can just hit the Replace with Key Points button, and it'll do just that. It's important to note that Apple Intelligence is available throughout the entire operating system, which means you can benefit from all these features in any third-party apps you use. One thing we haven't really touched on is privacy. It's one subject that Apple have been very keen to stress. They've been super cautious about jumping on the AI bandwagon, and that's probably because they want to keep their squeaky clean privacy image intact. They've built their brand on protecting your data, and they weren't about to throw that away for some flashy AI features. Artificial intelligence is a hungry beast, always craving data to learn and grow. So when Apple announced their partnership with OpenAI, the privacy alarm bells started ringing. Elon Musk stated that Apple devices will be banned from the premises of his companies over privacy concerns if the ChatGPT integration launches. However, Tim Cook, the big boss at Apple, came out swinging. He promised a new standard for privacy in AI. They've got a whole bunch of tricks up their sleeves to keep your data safe, like special servers that won't store your personal info. And get this, most of Apple Intelligence was built in-house with their own secret sauce. They're only using ChatGPT for specific tasks, like search and writing tools. Something like having a personal chef who only calls in a specialist for the fancy desserts. And don't worry, they won't be sending your data to OpenAI without your permission. You'll get a pop-up asking you if you're cool with it every time, like having a bouncer at the door of your data making sure only the right people get in. So if you ask your device for something specific that Apple Intelligence recognizes ChatGPT would be good at, the device will ask you if it's okay for ChatGPT to provide an answer to your question. You can then give it a yes or no answer on the spot. Think of it like a polite house guest, always asking before they grab a cookie from the jar. But here's the best part. OpenAI isn't allowed to keep a record of your requests. Just like having a confidential conversation with a friend who promises never to tell a soul, Apple even goes the extra mile by hiding your IP address. So OpenAI can't track your online activity. Craig Federici, Apple's software guru, said it himself. For artificial intelligence to be really useful, it has to be centered on you. To make that possible, it needs to be integrated into the experience all the time. It needs to be informed by context and knowledge of you. And if it's going to do that, there's a lot of responsibility to protect your privacy. Other privacy measures from Apple include a new hybrid cloud system called Private Cloud Compute. See, Apple, just like Google, realize that you can't cram all the AI magic onto your device. Some of the heavy lifting has to happen in the cloud, where there's more processing power and storage than your phone or laptop can handle. But Apple's not about to let your data run wild up there. They've promised that even when your data goes to the cloud, it won't stick around. It's like sending a secret message that self-destructs after it's read. Think of it this way. Apple Intelligence is like a butler who knows your preferences and habits. It uses that knowledge to make your life easier, but it never gossips about you behind your back. It's all about keeping things discreet and ensuring your data stays yours. Apple's taking a bold step into the AI world, but they're not leaving your privacy at the door. They're proving that you can have the convenience of AI without sacrificing your personal information. Check out this video on Apple VR for more info on Apple Tech.